Alright, so this is a video just to go over how to make a uh, table in Google Slides. So remember, you click View Assignment, you get to see the whole assignment. You get to see the whole rubric, you get to see the instructions, all the instructions, not just the link, but the instructions too. You get to see the template that you have to fill out for your presentation. So we're going to click that and it's going to open up. Okay. And then once it's loaded, we're going to go down. This is not the internet's fault. This is my computer's fault. Well, it's my fault. I let my battery get too low. And so now it's trying to save battery power by slowing down the processing. All right, there's the data table. All right, so there you go. Now, the most direct way to make your table is to go to Insert, because you want to insert a table. So we're going to go to Table. Now, you have to have a title row. Remember, rows go across. Columns are vertical. Rows, columns. All right, so you have to have the title row to tell you what's in each column. Then you have to have my boat, the control, your boat, and the class average. So that's 4 columns, and we only did one trial, which technically we should have done more, but I'm okay. This is just a simple project, you know, so I'm not going to stress over the fact that we only did one trial, but we only did one, so that means we only need 2 columns, one for the names of each boat and one for how many washers it held. So I'm going to go down 4 rows and over 1. So now I have a 2x4 table. And there we have it. Okay. So over here, we're going to put boat as a title. And over here, we're going to put washers held. Okay. Down here, we're going to put furlough, because that's my boat. And we're going to call that the control. You could also just put control. And now I can use my mouse and I can click from one box to another. I can also use the tab button to go from one box to another. I can also use the arrow keys. Okay. And then we need the class average. And we need your boat. I'm just going to pretend your name is Billy, because I don't know who's watching this right now. So we're going to call it Billy's boat. All right, now my boat held 34 washers. The class average was 34.8, and let's say your boat held 47 washers. Okay, so that's what you have, and you can expand this. All right, so you can stretch it out, but then everything looks real tiny. So you can come up here and you can use these to increase the font size. You can also just type in a number if you are so inclined. So there, everything's 30-point font now. You can bold them. You can let me zoom out my screen here. All right, so now I got everything up here. You can center them, and you can even come down here and highlight these. You can center them, and then you can also center them vertically. I think that looks a little bit nicer. I don't know what the world thinks, but I think it looks a little bit nicer that way. You can also come in, and over here you could do a fill color if you so desired. You don't have to. Sometimes what people will do is, like the heading, they'll make the heading a slightly different color. But you can also go over here. This is the border color, so you can make that a different color. You could make it like green or something. I don't know why you would, but you could. You can also come over here and increase the pixel size of the line so they show up a little bit better. I mean, you could do like 12-point font, but that kind of looks very audacious. So maybe don't do that. You could even change the color back. You could change the type of line if for some reason you want to. Okay, now that's how you get a table. You could also come up here to insert and click insert a bar chart or a column chart. For this particular activity, you're probably going to do a column chart. So you would click that. And now what it's done is it has created like default data. This data didn't come from anywhere. And we can come up here and see it says open source. So that's going to open the spreadsheet where this data is. Now again, this is just default data that Google has stored somewhere for this situation. And there's the chart. Now what we can do is we don't have teams. We have the control boat. Okay. We have the class average, and we have Billy's boat. And we don't need this row at all. Now maybe you do, and you could certainly add rows of data if you so choose. We also don't need this column, so I'm just going to delete that. Notice as I delete things or add things, the graph changes. Okay, now the control boat holds 34 washers. I'm going to change this heading up here to washers. It should be capitalized. So we're going to change that to W. And then the class average was 34.8. And let's say Billy's boat held 47. Okay, now there, the graph is already automatically updated. If we go back to the graph in PowerPoint, you see now it says update. So we're going to click update and boom, we have our chart. Okay, and we can change, maybe we have to do it over here. There we go. So we can change this to washers held by the boat. All right, and then again we come back here, it says update, we click update and boom, it's updated. Okay, now if you wanted to, once you've done that, you could even come back here, copy this chart, right, and then come back over here. Don't click in a text box, just click on the slide, and you want to link it to the spreadsheet, because that way anytime you change the spreadsheet, it will change your table. Click paste and boom. Now just like before, you can stretch it out. Everything's small, so you're going to highlight everything and you're going to go ahead and put in a bigger font size. You can bold things just like before. You can change the line color. I'm going to do something darker. Maybe make the lines a little bit thicker. You can center everything just like before. Okay. So that's two different ways to get a chart or a table, and a way that you can get a graph. Okay. So I hope this helps answer the question of how do you insert a data table into your presentation. Stay curious, friends.